Good morning, and welcome to the 10th installment of my Trying to Conceive journey with Bonnie. So we are thrilled to bring you these little nuggets of wisdom. Now, there are a lot of you out there who are struggling with trying to conceive, who have let the joy drain out of your sex lives, out of your marriage, and out of just loving and being with yourselves. So what our intention is to bring peace to you, to bring a sense of awareness and wholeness, knowing that there is a different way. My name is Sandra Jones-Keller, and I'm the Intuitive Pregnancy Coach with the CCFL Global Academy. Now, the Academy is an amazing, amazing organization of 31 experts and specialists who have partnered together to bring you more peace, joy, love, and abundance in your lives. So today we have Bonnie. Good morning, Bonnie.
No, good morning, Sandra. Thank you for being here for me. Great.
Thank you for being willing to share your life and be vulnerable, because I truly believe that it's our stories that help move people out of their own stories and show them a different way. So before we went live, we were talking about love, about unconditional love versus conditional love. So talk a little bit about what you were sharing with me.
Well, it seems that every month that we go through this journey and not conceive, I'm finding that this is a personal journey, and it's way more than conceiving a baby. We already know that I'm going to have a baby. I already know this, and I keep searching for it. And one thing that I was made aware of last week was the word unconditional love. And this is such a huge aha moment for me, because it's like I love myself if things go the way that I want it to. I love my body if things work the way I want it to. But if it doesn't do what I want it to, I find myself getting really upset. I find myself not being able to sleep. I find myself thinking. I find myself searching for some outside source to keep me on track or keep me happy or something like that. It's like if I conceive a baby, then I can love myself. But if I don't, then I don't. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense. And this is a perfect topic because, you know, we hear and we talk about unconditional love, but I know that my love is conditional with myself quite often. And, you know, I've been reading the message boards, and oh, you are not the only one experiencing this. And so let's talk about how to love and partner with our bodies. See, I think the problem is we have our agenda, I have my agenda, and I want it a certain way. And when it doesn't look that way, then I label it wrong. And so what I have found is that when I am willing to be open, when I am willing to bless whatever is happening, and that was something we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I bless this situation, and may only good come of it. And when I bless the situation, then what happens is information that I didn't know existed, that I didn't have access to, starts literally filtering into my mind. I bless this situation, and may only good come of it. And so you start moving out of your left analytical brain of I want this, it needs to look like this, and when it happens, I'll be happy and I'll be unconditionally loved, to moving into your right holistic brain of intuition, of love, of that connectedness with our higher selves. See, we only know what we know. We don't know what we don't know until we've learned it. And so this is an opportunity for you to see how conditional your love is. And it's fantastic because it's not just about your body. I bet if you were to look, this expands through all areas of your life, through your relationship with your husband, with your children, with your business. So it's not just about your body. And so as you are able to anchor yourself in, we talked about grounding last week, as you're able to ground yourself, anchor yourself in, and start connecting with that higher part of you, then you start having access to this unconditional love. You start moving out of how you need it to be, want it to be, and judging it, to realizing that right here and right now is perfect.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because I know that I'm getting better, because 6 months ago I was searching every day of the month, what could be wrong with me, what could be wrong with me, what could be wrong with me. And I stopped doing that now, except for like last week when I told you if I get a weird symptom or something a day or 2 or 3 before my new cycles to start, it gets me wondering and thinking and maybe and hopeful, and then I don't want to be hopeful, and then it just is, it's crazy. So we've been watching some Bible stories, and I know we weren't going to go here, but I just want to say that we've been watching some Bible stories, and there are 2 times so far that, well, besides Jesus himself, but 2 times so far where God has come and said, you've been barren, but I'm going to give you a son for this purpose or whatever. And this woman's pregnant. And so if you look at Abraham's wife, she was an old woman and had a baby. And so I think that we get delivered these messages, you're too old, your eggs will be old, your hormones will be off balance. There's some really wonky things that I've heard throughout my search before I met you, Sandra. It's like I wish I could take all of this information in my head and just get rid of it. And I think that's what we're doing through our sessions, is we're just taking all of this conscious thoughts and logical thoughts and ideas that come from outside sources, and we're getting rid of them altogether, because what you're teaching me is it's more about the biology, and it totally makes sense because I know that I've been doing it to myself. And so once I get to this higher plane of just letting go and letting God and just believing and going off my life and being the healthiest person I can be and loving myself unconditionally, it's going to happen. I've had 5 successful pregnancies. My daughter's like, well, what's the problem now? I go, I'm doing it to myself, and I know I'm doing it to myself. So that's why you're just such a blessing for me, to just keep me on track. And hopefully all the moms out there that are going through the exact same journey that I am can see these videos and begin to ground themselves. I think that's really key, is to ground ourselves almost on a daily basis, if not more than once a day.
Oh, I ground myself. I ground myself several times throughout the day, all depending on what's going on. And it's so important to ground yourself, because your thoughts will take over, and you'll start believing them and start looking for evidence that they're real. And so as you ground yourself, and as you're willing to, I bless this situation and may only good come of it, as you're willing to allow new information from a higher source to come in. And so what we've been talking about is not pregnancy as biology only, but pregnancy as a spiritual agreement. These are spiritual contracts. So I conceived when I was 41. I had a high-risk pregnancy, and according to the doctors, I should not have been pregnant because I had 2 fibroid tumors, 1 at the base of my uterus. So according to them, I shouldn't even be pregnant, and then the prognosis was dire. But my daughter, Mecca, we already had a spiritual agreement, and she was waiting to come through me and my husband, Thomas. And so this was a divine partnership. I had a successful pregnancy. And mind you, I had to be very mindful throughout the whole pregnancy. It wasn't easy, but it was successful in that I was never bedridden and that she was not premature. But there was nothing about it that was easy. But it was, and I'm not even going to say mind control, it was constantly surrendering to my higher self. It was creating a partnership with her to have this healthy and successful pregnancy. And this was beyond anything that I even knew was possible. And I did it moment by moment. And so instead of, trying to figure it all out, just take it moment by moment in increments. And so today, when you notice your thoughts, and we talked about this last week, being an observer of your thoughts versus getting involved with them. So you observe your thoughts, you ground yourself, and you allow your higher self to bring in new peaceful information. How do you do that? You simply, I bless this situation and may only good come of it. You say it as many times as you need to until you start feeling peace. Because what happens is solutions that you didn't know were possible start entering your mind. And before we started talking, I talked about the left analytical brain versus the right holistic intuitive brain. And so as you bless the situation, as you ground yourself, then you're connecting with your intuition, you're connecting with Danny, you're getting information from a higher source. You're no longer looking at a linear timeline. You're starting to jump and skip and allow divine information to come through.
Yeah. That is so powerful. I wrote down constantly surrendering. So that's really powerful for me. So it's like anytime a thought would come in, or I want to go search for what could possibly be the problem, or how can I help, I just constantly surrender to that thought and just say thank you for sharing and let it go, because it's not real. How many people have we heard the stories from, just like yourself? I tried for 8 years, conceived over the age of 40, wasn't really supposed to, carried the baby to full term. These are the miracle stories that I want to surround myself with, and I am choosing to believe in. And I know that my mind, my subconscious mind has already said 43 and twins, and I'm only 42. So it doesn't even make sense for me to look every single month when I'm only 42.
And that's where developing your spiritual practice, developing your spiritual tools helps you. And so you ground yourself.
Yeah.
You have time for quiet, whether it's meditation or just mindfulness or just reflection. So that's where it's so important to start developing your own spiritual practices so that you don't get so caught up in the mayhem of the outer world. And we all need support, and that's why you have people like me and your husband and other conscious people around you to hold the truth for you when you can't do it for yourself.
Awesome. We close out with a little prayer for me and all of the moms out there that are going through this experience month after month before we end the video.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
And so I'll just take in 3 deep, healing, cleansing breaths, allowing this moment of now to be the revelation of wholeness and oneness, knowing that right here and right now is everything. And as I surrender to my divinity, as I surrender to that higher part of myself that knows peace, that is understanding, that is clarity, that is partnership, I simply ground myself in this moment of now, releasing all that has come before this moment, knowing that it is simply the past. And in this moment, enjoying the perfection of wholeness and oneness. And so as I release this word onto the universe, I simply say, and so it is. So Bonnie, I just want to thank you for your vulnerability and your willingness to share your story with the millions of women who are trying to conceive, because I know that this information will bring peace, will bring joy on their trying to conceive journey. So for those of you watching, please like this video, share it with your friends. There's someone out there that is looking for this information, so you can be the conduit to having them find it and having more joy and peace on their trying to conceive journey. So until next week, have a fantastic day. Thank you.